So I'm talking about monoidal profunctors.
I can do left and right.
Left,
Stuff.
okay. So first of all, it's my PhD thesis along with Professor Mauro Jaskelhoff and Ana Cristina from USP in Brazil. And basically, monoidal profunctors, we are trying to see if there are some other useful structure that lines, that is weaker than arrows, right? So this is the intention of this paper. So that's some facts from monoidal categories that used to reason about monoids, of course, and some facts about, this work is another notion of computation as monoids, like the work of Professor Mauro Jaskelhoff. And, a profunctor is something that generalizes a notion of function relations and bimodals and a lot of other interesting objects. We have more or less one function covariantly and one contravariantly. It shares some laws as a functor. There is a profunctor in Haskell. It has this, please give me the permission for reasoning about something like that structure, following these rules, right? And this is a trivial example of a profunctor, just precomposition and postcomposition. And we have this other example that we'll be using because it's a trivial example of a monoidal profunctor, that structure input, structure output. When we have f as a functor and g as a functor, we are able to write a profunctor instance for a CISO. That's useful for the next slides. Now I have the deconvolution. Deconvolution is something that is used, as a tensor, and we need some monoidal categories, right? Using a deconvolution with functors, we have a monoidal category. Now we do the same thing in a profunctor case. Okay. Over. So this is the definition for a monoidal, the deconvolution of two monoidal functors, right? We have that existential thing. And now for profunctors, we more or less, adjusting for the contravariancy, and we have this, right? This is our deconvolution. So the deconvolution in Haskell is more or less written like that. In the paper I use the uncurved form, but okay. So the monoidal profunctor slogan is more or less like people in Haskell like slogans. So a monoid in the monoidal category of profunctors with deconvolution as its tensor, right? So this is the case for a monoidal profunctor. So we have some examples of monoidal profunctor category. Some instances. So we have the trivial one, of course, of plain function is a monoidal instance, because we can if I have two functions, we can map them in a tuple, right? It's trivial. So for relations, we can view this. If you see like this, the category of. In this setting, we can build, right. It's when you have order, you have two order. You can do like multiplication or some with orders, right? We can have a monoidal profunctor here, and also a monoidal profunctor here using like a parameter product, right? It's just amalgamating a lot of metrics together. Is an example of a monoidal profunctor. So in Haskell, we write the monoidal profunctor as this, right? We have an unit, okay, and you have this parallel composition, right? Is a structure with that setting. and we need that guy to be a profunctor, right? Satisfying the same laws. More or less, the laws are, from monoidal categories. So we have the left and right identities, and we have the associativity. This is, of course, a trivial example for the monoidal profunctor in Haskell. The MPMT is the unit, so ID is the unit. Like I said to you, we can map both functions in a tuple like that. So it's the easiest example. For CISO, it's just, we unzip. It's like we unzip, we apply, and we zip, right? So this is the instance of the monoidal profunctor for this type, and unzip and zip is more or less very well studied, well known. So here we can find some free constructions, right, with these monoidal profunctors, and we can also build like we can embed like and see like a DSL, right? We can build an abstract tree using that structure as well, right? So using the same technique as we can see in various other works, we can construct a free monoidal profunctor. And okay, it's swapped. Sorry, the slide is swapped. So this is the free monoidal profunctor in Haskell, right? We can of course build it recursively. And this is more or less a representation of the deconvolution, right? And we just put in a lot of profunctors together, and these rules is like more or less to how to amalgamate them. So another example of a monoidal profunctor is to reason about some optics, okay? And this is way off. So when I have a free monoidal profunctor, we have this is like cons, that is just like a singleton, right? I have only, if you compare to list, this is the list with one element, okay? And this is, we can do also with a free monoidal profunctor. That is cons. Okay, I have one profunctor and a list of monoidal profunctors. You can cons it, and this is a fold. Of course, is we can write. If we have here. Okay, it's like fold. Okay, we fold nothing. If we have the R, of course, there's nothing to do, and we just fold recursively like we do in other examples, and it's not. It follows the same recipe, right?
What's the R with the triple R?
Yes, this I call R is a bad name. I know I need to change. I have to go back a little. No, not that. Here, right? It's just it's MPMT. Oh my God. MPMT. Yes, and I changed. MPMT is that R. I forgot to change, but okay. It's just something to to stop the chain, right? Is I have like a constant, so MPN is we have this constant. It represents that unit that I showed before. Okay, and a free monoidal profunctor is a monoidal profunctor, right? So as expected. I show how to program in Haskell. And if P is an arrow, I can collapse everyone, right, into a single guy. So it's more or less expected also. And
So, sorry, what do you mean if P is an arrow? So in the sense that it also has that it has strength, that it has the
yes, if we have a free monoidal profunctor on our arrow, everything collapses. Okay, I can collapse everything, right? So
because that goes a bit fast. So when you say arrows, this is like arrows in the
yes, arrows, yes.
So that
arrows
would be like strong monoid objects.
Yes,
in
yes,
profunctors.
yes,
Okay.
yes. A Haskell arrow like Haskell like class.
But when you say everything collapses, what does that mean? You said then everything collapses.
Yeah, because in arrow we can, it's easy to that 3 stars operator that realizing first, right? And we have it for free, in a free monoidal profunctor, it is just a lot of plain profunctors like parallel, but we cannot collapse anything, because it's a free construction in this parallel composition operator. Right? It's just a lot of think that a lot of profunctors together, right? And we can't collapse them in a parallel composition, right? Because it's a free construction, right? If we have arrow, right? We gain this structure, this way to parallel compose for free, because it's inherently of the arrow interface, right? So we can collapse everything together. Okay.
Sorry, by collapsing means that the arrow provides the interpretation of the free parallel composition.
Yes. Okay, this is from arrow. I can have this. I can have an arrow for that, right? And I can also have a category. So I'm creating an arrow, setup for the free monoidal profunctor, right? Because I need category and I need arrow, right? So in Haskell, this is the unit object of the composition. This is the R, we just lift a function, and this is the parallel composition. So, okay. Now we can, we can open this, right? So if I have MPMT like this, we can think we do like Yone's lemma backwards. We can think this as this, right? And also we can do the same with that guy. If we contravariantly map this here, we get this, and if covariant map this with those guys, we got also there, right? So I'm opening, I am expanding this into getting this, okay? And the other idea is effectful monoidal profunctors. So for effectful monoidal profunctors, we work here. Let me see if I get. Oh no, I'm gonna leave a sorry. This is like the idea is not using pure functions here. Right? I don't want to use pure functions here, here, and here, right? And the effectful monoidal profunctor is what is if I use this another another morphism from other category, right? This is from Haskell from Haskell. the effectful monoidal profunctor is what happens if I change this pure function to to some other morphism, So I need to do the same with profunctors, right? Profunctors, this was A to B, C to G, now is parameterized by this K, where K is a category, right? So I have this cat profunctor instance, and I also can do this with cat monoidal profunctor, but I would need fundaps. So I have the unit turns into that, right? Because it was S to unit and K unit to T. So I parameterize by K is unit, K unit T. And also with we should call NPZ with, right? I have this, it was S to AC, now it's parameterized as well as this. And I kind of sort of this kind of convolutions to do in one side and get this, and to do in just the covariant part or just the contravariant part. Okay, so I can do this kind of left and right convolution. The same rules applies. And an example is this lift. Okay, this lift is more or less based on the monad transformer here. So I parameterize by this, which can be a monad transformer, a monad, and some process from A to B. I have a cat monopro instance provided if there is a function that commutes, right? So I need some notion of commutative monad to write this cat monopro instance. Okay. The most trivial example that I have in my head now is maybe writer, right? Because writer in maybe commutes. Okay. And I did here some quick sort using this approach of effectful monoidal profunctors, that I can put effects in splitting. I can apply two functions, right? And we can apply effects on merging, right? So we can split effectively, apply, then merge effectively, right? So here I just do a guard, okay, because of the negative. Then I do this L convolve, right? Doing this L convolve is the next slide. L convolve, L split. L split is this slide. Is I just put on one effect is just tell to tell what I'm doing, to log what I'm doing, and the right split is just telling that I'm merging, right? So the effect in splitting is that I tell you that I am splitting, and the effect in merging is like I'm telling you that it's merging, right? Some trivial effects. And then this quick sort works in when I split and I merge, I can produce this effect. It's not pure anymore. Is one of the ideas of the monoidal effectful monoidal profunctor. So other application of a monoidal profunctor is in optics. Okay, so we have a lot of optics when parameterized by a profunctor. Okay, so more or less a type for an optic is like that, right? I have a restriction and a profunctor from A to B to S to T. When this restriction is strong, we have a lens. When this restriction is closed, we have a grade. And when we have here applicative, you have some kind of, it's not quite traversal, but more or less like a traversion. And when this restriction is monopro, we get a traversal and a grade. Okay, so
what's a grade?
A grade is when this constraint is closed, right? So it's a little weird. It's a little weird optics. It's optics that lenses works with tuples, prisms work with co-products, right? And a grade works with arrow, the function arrow, right? It's some kind of data assessors for functional, like types from A to B. Okay, if lens is from A comma B, right? Prisms is from either A or B, and a grade is for A to B. So this is a closed profunctor. So we have some. This is we call monos. These three monos. It's just like we're just amalgamating a lot of the same, right? We have each two. We have for a tuple with two. Each three a tuple of three. And each four a tuple of four, and you'll get the sense of it. And we have effects also, right? And we can have like fold map of, and this is we have a profunctor called forget, right? We apply this in forget, right, to build off this fold map of, and we pass this like each three or each two, we get a function that is folding a tuple, right? That is the point of using these optics. Okay, so if I put each two, I have AA to R. Each three, AAA to R. Each four, AAA to R. We don't need to use dependent types. We can use dependent types, but it's not the point here, because I want to show the application for a monoidal profunctor. I can do this also with effects, right? And this is the most of the applications for a monoidal profunctor in the era of optics. So I can do traverses, right? And we can do zips, right? Então this zip with off can produce it's a sample of a grade, right? So the a mono can be a traverse and a grade. So more about the monoidal profunctors to summarize. It provides a parallel composition. We have also some way to like we do LMAP for a profunctor, right? LMAP2 is is more or less lifting functions with more than one parameters, right? This is the other way to look into a monoidal profunctor, and provides a way to think about optics. Free monoidal profunctors as well builds an EST for parallel computations. We can use CAN stations to build a whole of to build more structures related. Oops. More structures like that, and it could be useful in linear typesetting, with linear types. And we can have, like I said, other monoidal profunctors. In this work, I just showed a monoidal profunctor with the tuple, right, with the Cartesian product. And we can extend a monoidal profunctor interface with some that I call semi-category. It's not in the paper, but I'm thinking into it. We do not have, it's a sequential composition without identity, right? Because if you have identity, we can have first. If I have first, we can have arrow. Okay, so to remain weaker than arrow, we can extend this monoidal profunctor with this same category, and that's what I'm thinking to do in the near future, extending this to have an even more powerful interface than monoidal profunctor, but not powerful as an arrow. Okay, that's it.